Everyone talks about retiring your parents, but what if that actually ends up becoming the reason for why you hate your life for almost 8 months to an extent where you're like, was this even worth it? My name is Eunice, and I've been making money online for the past 6 years, and I've been wildly successful in my journey. And I was able to retire my father at the age of 17 back in 2022. And this is my story on how I went from being a guy that was super excited to retire my father and achieving the goal that many men have and women have in their mind to go in and actually hating every single minute of it. Now, if you're looking for something that is incredibly highly edited, then this is not for you. This is going to be plain video from a man to another man, or from a man to a woman, telling you what it actually looked like in my story about retiring my father. So, in early 2020, I started making money remotely, and I did that through high ticket remote sales. If you don't know what that is basically a way of making money through sales online where you work a couple of hours and you make some really good money. Now, I started doing that, and it was incredibly hard for the first couple of months, and then I reached a point where I was actually really freaking good at it. And in 2022, at the beginning of it, I was making anywhere from like 2, 3, 4K a month. Now, you gotta keep in mind that I did not grow up in a really first world country, which means it did not take a lot of money for me to retire my father, and even 2 to 3K a month was more than enough for me. So I took some time, I saved some money, and I decided to take the leap of faith. And I asked my dad, hey, and if you want to leave your job, you can leave your job. Your son got you covered. There's nothing to worry about. I got you. I've been seeing you work. It's okay. You can do that. And he was really hesitant because my father has been working all of his life. And the idea of him leaving that work to actually just retire was not the best in his mind. But I ended up convincing him somehow. Now, the issue became when I retired him, and for the first couple of months, it was freaking amazing. My father was not working. He was happy. He was spending time with us. He was spending time with his friends. He was doing all the things that he ever wanted to do. And then I lost my job. And I had some savings, but not a lot of those. And they could only last us a couple of months at max. And my father tried contacting the guy that he used to work with, and they said that they don't need anyone as of right now. So we got stuck in this really weird situation where I retired my father. I got the feeling of retiring my father. I felt happy as fuck. And now all of a sudden I'm depressed. And the reason I was depressed was not because I got let go from my job. It was because fights. It was the doubt. It was the anxiety. It was my father saying that if you were not ready, you shouldn't have had us do this. If you were not ready, you shouldn't have pushed us to leave the job. If you were not ready, even saying things such as, I really thought that you did this for us, and now like all of this is happening because of you. And I was like, I was 17 years old, bro. I was like, I wanted to just fucking retire you. That was your goal. That was my goal. That was the reason I started working at the age of 15 in the online space, was because I wanted to make you happy. And then it just turned sideways to an extent where I freaking hated every single minute of it. And for the next couple of months, I was in constant anxiety. And I hate to say this because it's not easy to say. It got to a point where I was not even working. I was like, what does this even matter? Because I retired him. He's not even grateful. Fucking who cares? I don't want to work anymore. I'm just going to live my life. I can make a couple of bucks here and there. I can just do something that I want to do. Like, I don't really have to stress this out or just kind of spend time over it. But the more time that I spent over it, the more I realized I got to do it. Because it's like my father, I got my father's approval to an extent where he was happy about me and the fact that I retired him. But then it all went sideways because I ended up losing everything. So I did what any man would do. I applied to a lot of jobs. I made resumes. I was like, hey, this is me. But I think the sense of desperation, they could feel it. And that is the reason why I wasn't able to get a lot of jobs. And I was freaking struggling, and I was like, God, God, just give me one sign, give me something, give me like, give me just something. Like I've been working really hard for this. I've showed up every single day, and I'm freaking young, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing more work than I'm doing more work than men do when they're like 40, 50. And I was like, God, just give me something. And I think God answered. I got this offer to work with this agency. It was a marketing agency, sort of. It was kind of new. So they were giving some really good basis for someone with experience. And the good thing was I had an experience of like 2 years. So I went up to the company, I had the freaking interview. I filled out the Loom last minute, by the way. So like the interview was like in a couple of hours. I filled it out. I was not even hoping to get a job, because I was like, fuck, I might not even get it because it was so last minute. But I ended up actually getting a job, and I was incredibly surprised at the fact that I got it. And I jumped on the interview, and I felt, and I think they felt the desperation, but they still just said yes, because they just liked the energy, and I was young and I was ambitious, and they were like, why not? And then I had my, if you've been following me, you would already know this, but I had my first 8K month in September 2022. And everything went back to normal again. I actually did not even go back to normal, because I wouldn't be talking about this if it went back to normal. I think there's still a sense of hesitancy when I talk about the fact that I retired my father. But it got better. And what I mean by that is we started connecting more. We started talking more. I think the easiest way that I can say this is I actually made it happen, rather than just making it happen for a couple of months and then hating the fact that he's fucking struggling and trying to apply for a job, and it's all happening because of me, and you're freaking 17 and you have no idea what's happening. To actually making it happen for yourself, shit, I was getting tired sitting down, is a massive freaking thing, right? And I guess the biggest learning lesson here was the fact that even though if you're losing a lot and you're not getting a lot of wins, and like you're like on your streak of like constant failures, it just takes one win to change your freaking life. Like it doesn't take 20 different wins. It just takes like one win to change your entire fucking life and become the man that you actually envision yourself to be. And a lot of people, and like if there's one learning lesson you could take from my story is like as a man myself, I know how important it is for you to retire your father, your mother, give them the life that they deserve. But the entire thing is realizing that none of that matters if you're not ready for it. You're just gonna end up fucking yourself mentally like I did at some point. And I think that was my confession about how I went from being a kid to that retired his father at a really early age, to regretting it because I freaking hated my life, to getting depressed to an extent where I lost majority of my friends and started talking to myself. Weird, I know. To making it happen for myself. I love you a lot, and yeah. This video is fucking hard, but anyways, take care, guys, and I hope you really take the learning lessons from me. And if you're someone with a dream, just know that it is achievable as long as you fucking push yourself to make it happen. Voila.